welcome back to my channel. Today we are gonna battle it out. We're gonna see which one of these primers is just like the Tatcha primer that retails for about $52. Obviously, these two are drugstore options for you. They've been said to be similar to the Tatcha one, so today we're gonna see which one is closest. The e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer or the Hard Candy Smoothing Primer Balm. If that sounds interesting to you, keep watching. It's time for the battle. So up first, I know you guys know this, the tried and true, the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. You guys know I'm a longtime lover of this, as many of you are. And this is considered a dupe for the Tatcha primer that comes in the tub. And I've always thought that it was pretty good, but I never really thought it was very close to the Tatcha primer. I don't use Tatcha, I love Tatcha. It's just so expensive that I can't bring myself to do it. So I would love to buy their primer. I've done samples before and tried it out. Amazing staying power. It actually goes on so lovely, and it also helps my makeup stay on seamlessly. This is a good alternative considering it is only $8, where I believe the Tatcha primer is $52. But I never thought that it was that similar, but I continue to use it because it was a great alternative considering the price point. Emily Noel recently said that this one, the Hard Candy Soothing Primer Balm, was more of a dupe for the Tatcha primer. So today we are going to see which one is better. I'm very excited. I haven't tried this one at all yet, and I didn't even know that this may or may not be considered a dupe, so I'm very excited to try it. So today we are going to do the battle of the primers, and we're gonna get an answer to the question, which is the better dupe? So without further ado, let's get started with the makeup. I am going to put the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer on this side of the face, and then this little guy, the one from Hard Candy, on the left side of my face. I'm gonna try to get this on as even as possible. And so as you can see, this, oh, I didn't mean, I should use this finger. I'm not flipping you guys off. Okay, so this one has a hard layer consistency to it. You actually have to warm it up with your finger for it to kind of turn, I don't know if you guys can see that, turn into more of, in a clump like this. I don't know, that doesn't sound very nice, does it? But basically where you can pick up a good chunk of it. So similar in size here. Let's see how, I'll have to look up the ounces on this one, but it doesn't say, it probably said on the original packaging, but not on the actual container here. This one says it's 0.78 ounces or 22 grams. So I'll have to look that up to see how it battles as far as how much product you get. Ooh, I haven't opened this before, so I'm so excited to try this. Okay, so that is the consistency right there, or what it looks like in the tube. It right off bat, it looks very similar to the e.l.f. Poreless Putty. Let me just hold them up side by side. This one's just a little bit more pinkish. There we go. All right, so let's see if it, oh, okay, so the consistency, okay, I gotta use a different finger, right? Okay, the consistency is definitely so right off the bat, it does have a moussier texture than the Poreless Putty. Poreless Putty, you just have to warm it up to get it, to get to this consistency. It does get to this consistency, but it takes some time. This, on that first layer, I am gonna take another finger and just kind of drag it through here. Yeah, it's definitely soft. It almost feels like a softened butter. Yeah, it feels like a softened butter, so it doesn't have this hard layer that the Poreless Putty Primer does. So I'm gonna get this on the skin and see how it feels here. And again, I probably have too much product on my hands. Typically with something like this, I'd like to use in small amounts, just in certain sections, but let's see. Okay, so it does go on very, very nice. I can see how this might be considered a dupe for Tatcha just based on the consistency alone. Yeah. Oftentimes with the e.l.f. one, I do feel like I'm tugging on the skin quite a bit, and that's something that concerns me over time. I'm trying to limit the amount of wrinkles. I'm not trying to add them in just by using a primer. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to limit that. I already use contacts, so I feel like I'm already tugging at my skin a lot, as more than maybe someone who doesn't wear contacts. But okay, so right off bat, that went on really lovely. On the skin, it looks just like, I mean, it basically goes invisible. Does it have a blurring feature? A little bit. I do love the way it felt going on the skin, but the real test of time is how it responds to foundation and everything else you're gonna put on top of it. So I'm excited. We're gonna do a wear test today. I'm going to keep it to items that I use pretty regularly and I'm very familiar with, obviously. So for the foundation today, I am using the Maybelline Dream Radiant Liquid. I love this stuff. This is the hydrating foundation that they recently launched here. So I'm just gonna do like 1.5 pumps in this stuff is what I normally do. Something like that. And I'm just gonna dot this all over the face and see how it looks sitting on top of both those primers. I'm gonna put a little bit more on the face. I want a little bit more coverage today. So I'm just gonna put another 1/2 pump just for good measure. All right, so that's what the skin looks like with this Radiant foundation. So I definitely feel like I have a nice glow still, which is what the foundation is supposed to do. As far as any differences in the primer so far, I don't see any. Right off bat, they look very similar to me, if not exactly alike. I don't think that I'd be able to tell the difference at all at this stage in the game. It looks like the real test is gonna come when we actually wear the foundation for the rest of the day and see how it does with the primer. So I am going to powder my face, put the rest of my makeup on, and we're gonna see which one is a better dupe for the Tatcha. Stay tuned. Alright guys, so that's the finished look today. I just wanted to keep it fairly simple and then make sure that I use products that I normally always use or that I regularly use. I just wanted to make sure that I keep things very simple, and I just really want to see how the foundation reacts with both primers, see which one I like better. So we'll compare how it went on, longevity, all that good stuff. So stay tuned, we'll be doing some check-ins. All right, guys, it's the end of the night. I am doing a check-in here. Sorry I didn't do a midday one. I did put this makeup on pretty late. It was around 2 o'clock and it's about 10:30 now. So just a little bit over 8 hours. Had it been longer, I would have done a midday check-in, but it was only 8 hours. So I figured that this would work out just fine. I did go to the store today, so I did wear a face mask. So that always takes off some of the makeup, no matter what primer or foundation I'm wearing. That always affects it a little bit. But this is 8 hours in. In my opinion, the makeup still looks good from a distance and on camera. For the most part, I still have pretty much good coverage on right now still. Let's take a closer look. So just off bat, I did notice that this side of my smile lines is a little worse for the wear, but I will say that I believe that this side, my smile line on this side is a little bit more recognizable than this side to begin with, so that might not be the makeup. There is some breakdown on this side as well, but in the smile lines, that's to be expected. As far as this area here, things look pretty good still, and I'm not seeing any differences there or on the forehead. The look of it looks pretty much the same. I know that I said in the beginning when we first put it on that there wasn't too much of a difference as far as the overall look. And again, even right now, it looks like the makeup is wearing off pretty evenly. I am trying to limit touching my face, but that's just because of our current situation. When I'm testing these products out, I would say that I would judge a product based on 3 things. One is the texture of the product straight out of the container, and then also the application of the product, and then lastly, how it wears. So as far as the 3 categories go, the texture of the Hard Candy Primer Balm is definitely more like the Tatcha primer. It comes out of the container with a moussey texture, so that's definitely similar. The Tatcha one is very soft, and I feel like the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer is not. You have to warm it up in your hands to kind of get it to come off in that moussey-like texture. Otherwise, it's kind of hard in there. I don't know how else to describe it. But with this one, it's moussey right out of the container, which I really like. As far as application and putting them on, they did kind of go on about the same. However, I would say with this one, I had less drag. With the Poreless Putty Primer, I'm pulling at the skin definitely a lot more because of its texture. As far as the wear goes though, I feel like it looks exactly the same. I can't tell a difference. So it's gonna come down to personal preference. I just like the texture on this one, you know, a lot more than this one. However, when it comes down to wear, they're exactly the same. So it's gonna be up to you what your preference is. But for me, this one's the winner. So that being said, I am going to take this makeup off. I'm gonna do my skincare routine for the evening and I'm gonna head to bed. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys and I look forward to seeing you next time.